of the men on this forum, as well as elsewhere, who have contributed to empowering and supporting women in various capacities. This section of the program will be focused on practical case studies that highlight initiatives being undertaken that promote equalizing technology. Let's go over to Ms. Liz Agbor Tabi, Vice President of Global Policy, Global Citizen. Ms. Tabi will give a Power Talk presentation and insight into initiatives and interventions towards poverty alleviation that has been undertaken by Global Citizen over the years and their efforts towards increasing advocacy, communication through storytelling.
Thank you and good afternoon. Thank you first and foremost for inviting me to speak today. I'm Liz Agbor Tabi and I'm the Vice President for Global Policy at Global Citizen, a movement of engaged citizens who are using their collective voice to end extreme poverty by 2030. I am honored to be here as I admire the work being done by the Aspire Artemis Foundation, especially your work with children from disadvantaged backgrounds, and this year, your STEAM campaign to harness the intersectionality across both science and the arts and culture. The video you just watched was a snapshot of our Global Go Unite campaign, a campaign we launched last year in the midst of a raging global health and social justice pandemic, a campaign where, as an organization with a mission to end extreme poverty, in the midst of this global pandemic, it was incumbent upon us to tell a cogent story of the interlinkages between poverty, the health pandemic, social justice, and equity as part of our global advocacy for COVID-19 relief. Today, I want to talk about storytelling and how we as Global Citizen have leveraged this as a powerful tool to advance our global advocacy agenda. Storytelling and advocacy transmits knowledge, it informs, it demonstrates impact, it validates our individual lived experience and can be a unifier of our collective shared experiences. But for storytelling to serve for good, it must be inclusive and reflect diverse perspectives. It must be interesting and engaging. I often reflect on the words of the great author Chinua Achebe, who said, "Until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter." At Global Citizen, we seek to engage millions of young people across the world by giving them a platform to take action, to use their individual voices to become part of a global collective voice towards impact and making meaningful change. We found storytelling through an interwoven narrative, bridging music, the arts, pop culture, and policy to be one of the most important and effective tools to engage these young people as co-authors and partners towards change. In telling these stories, we strive to ensure diversity of voices. In other words, you cannot be a dominant figure as the storyteller without including all voices. We try to do this by engaging the global citizens themselves to tell stories on the issues they care about the most. We give them an opportunity to make change and take action by providing them with the data and the platform and agency to do so. Whether it's through tweets to world leaders or by signing petitions or directly engaging with our dedicated group of artist activists, we empower them to be part of the development of the narrative. In our strategic advocacy to end extreme poverty, we cast a wide net in our outreach from global decision makers down to everyday global citizens across geographies and socioeconomic status. We work with a wide range of artist activists, governments, civil society, so we can include more people to be part of the solution and to ensure the amplification of all voices. More people like me and you, everyday individuals who desire to make a difference, and many of whom are often disproportionately impacted by the changes we seek. We must each do our part to ensure that the narrative isn't always being driven from the global north to the global south. For example, during the pandemic, the nation of Senegal was very successful in launching a testing plan and developing testing resources, but this story was not being told widely in the media. The narrative focused on Africa's struggle, continue to trump such stories of resilience and innovation that were emerging from the continent. It is important to tell the stories of challenge and risk, no doubt, but it's also important to share positive stories, as these are the ones that will drive change and build a movement of engaged global citizens. Now, it's not lost on me that today the world is observing International Women's Day. And there's still much work to be done to ensure that everyone can be privileged to participate in the global discourse. And as in this year's theme urges us to choose to challenge and to ensure that our voices will be amplified equitably. And the only way we can ensure this is by committing to be a part of the solution, taking action, and then contributing to the narrative to demonstrate this narrative. And here, I'll leave you with one question. Will you become part of action takers and stuff? To find out more, please visit www.globalcitizen.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tabi, for your intervention.